Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here, Gozyuger review for episode 35. So I might record next week's review and then I might change the way I do my Gozyuger coverage. My Gozyuger coverage. Because this just isn't so interesting to talk about week to week. We have times we have little mini arcs, but then we get to these times where this is very much a part one, but I feel like I don't have a lot to say other than repeating a lot of my points that I've made before. So I want to review next week's because it seems to be part two of this, like I said, and there's some stuff about it I'm interested to see. And then I'll see what the next episode seems like. But what I might do is just do check-in reviews, not where I review every individual episode, but let's say there's a big event or something, then I'll talk about that, and there's 4 or 5 big events between now and the finale, and then I'll of course review the finale. But I don't know, it's just not as interesting to cover it week to week anymore, because I feel like I'm just repeating myself. When I was watching the episode, I was thinking of alright, what are my thoughts on this? And I already said this a million times, because it was kind of back to nonsense, it was character focused, it was not fully filler, but it was just kind of disappointing that even though this is character focused, I know, that last week felt like we were getting into gear and we might start progressing the main plot and it might start feeling more intense, and then we kind of go back to the silliness, because it's just about the delivery. I wouldn't mind a character-driven episode like this if it just wasn't with all the clutteredness, and it's just the thing, Gozyuger's not for me, the silliness of the whole games, and then you have this subplot with this monster named Ko that I think the whole thing it's a lot of just Dairanger references, because this is the Dairanger tribute episode, because you have all these little references, and this monster that's here seems to be based off of Saba, and which is nice. I like that they're kind of doing it. They did stuff like that, and what was the other one that did some cool tribute stuff? Was it Lupat? They've been some kind of tribute episodes, but it's weird. Every now and then, sometimes you'll just have a Universe Warrior show up for nothing, and then now you'll try to do tribute episodes, which I don't mind, but it just feels jumbled to smash that in here. This felt like another one that was 2 episodes smashed together. Obviously they were doing the Dairanger tribute because Kinjiro's friend was the Dairanger warrior, but still, just because the 2 storylines were so different, I'm why are these here together? Because the whole thing is this henchman guy is trying to get his friend back up on his feet and inspire him, while you have this storyline with Kinjiro, which is an interesting setup, where he has this old war buddy that's also been turned young, and they're competing, and I think that's really interesting, and it made me think of something I've said before. I would love if we had a handful of Red Warriors that were reoccurring rivals. I think the longest running one was the Dawn Brothers guy, but this character would be a great long running rival for Kinjiro. What if they each had a Red Warrior that corresponded to their journey, instead of this guy will probably be done next week? And I liked the concept of it, and I like digging into Kinjiro's character, because I think maybe what they're going for, and I could be off base, when he's talking about his dream, his rival, that he wants eternal life, Kinjiro doesn't seem to want that. I think he just wants to live another lifetime. I don't think he doesn't want to never get old again. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with his wife, but I don't think it's going to be he wants to stay young forever like a vampire. But it's really interesting. I like his character. He's probably my favorite in terms of just enjoying his character and the story of him. But I just can't get that invested in this episode because it's all wrapped up in this silly No.1 game. I'm going to be honest. I checked out during most of the game. It was a ramen challenge or something, a cooking challenge, a curry. It was some sort of cooking, and then they did cards, and then baseball. There were some cool visuals in the baseball, but I'm never a fan of the Ranger baseball episodes. I wasn't too into the Boom Boondra one we did last year either. But I'm this could be so interesting in another show where the conflict wasn't solved in a silly little game show type thing. And then you got, Horu piloting the mecha again at the end. And we are leading into next week, so it wasn't one and done. So this is one that'll clearly more pay off next week, but it was just very strange and mixed. I think the biggest positive is I like getting the focus on the characters, but it's just wrapped up in such a mixed package that I have just such a problem with it, between the game and then the weird little reference thing, which again, it's nice when they do stuff like that. It just made the pacing of the episode feel very jumbled. So we'll see how next week shakes out, though. I'm interested to see. It looks like maybe, if I remember right from the preview, Kinjiro's going to get the armor, which is what I was hoping for. I was hoping we would have a focus episode on each of them where they get the armor. And I was disappointed. I'm oh, that didn't happen this episode. And then I'm oh, it goes another episode. So yeah, another episode of Gozyuger. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as always. Till next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.